platform. Yes, already mentioned. Regarding the company, we are growing so fast, and those of you who participated in our first meetup or second one saw the number of 150 people or 200 people. In a year, we're already 300 plus, even more, 350, I believe, already, and we keep growing. We have 5 offices. The main R&D offices, are here in Barcelona and in Amsterdam, where we hire a lot of developers, including PHP developers. So if you're interested, please let me know. And we have also engineering managers here. You can ask questions directly to them about all the specifics. Can you click? Yep, already announced. And we are still sponsoring the PHP Foundation because we think if we use the language, we should donate, we should support. The PHP Foundation is not so rich organization, and it's kind of our charity. And we're happy to collaborate with Adrian and with PHP Barcelona group. It's nice we do the things in collaboration. Plan for today: we will be having 2 topics, one after another, without any breaks, because they are not so tight and long, and that will allow us to have more time for networking, for eating pizza, drinking beer, because I believe it is the main thing. You come here, yeah. Sorry, speakers, yeah. And I'm happy to pass the microphone to my colleague Artem Terehkin, who is senior software developer at ManyChat and working on the AI direction, which is not only trendy on the market, but very crucial for our product. Thank you.
1, 2, 1, 2. Hello. Hi guys, thank you for coming. So let me start to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Artem. I'm working in ManyChat for 2 years. So mostly of these 2 years I'm working in the AI area. 2 years ago we started as a small team of 3 engineers. Now we have entire AI area with 15 plus people. So I'm working as a senior backend engineer here. And overall I have 10 plus years of experience in IT sphere in different spheres like fintech, edtech. Now I'm working in ManyChat. So what about me? I'm living here in Barcelona for 6 months with my wife and daughter. I really like to live in Spain because I like to play guitar, and I really like the flamenco guitar. I hope I will find opportunity to learn it more. So, and this is my first such big presentation in English. So, thank you for coming. So, what I talk about today. 2 years ago, we created the AI assistant for our clients. It was like some kind of experiment for us. And today I will not talk directly about AI, but I will talk about how we built it and integrated OpenAI APIs into our PHP product, and what was our journey, how we moved from assistant API to chat completions with function calling. So once again about ManyChat, you think not the first time here and hear about it a lot, and Anton already presenting, so it's how it looks. We are the leading chat marketing platform. So here is a small example how it works in Instagram and how it helps people. So first of all, let's speak a little bit why we decided to use AI, what's wants we to change. So on this slide you can see how ManyChat usually looks for our clients. They can build the automated conversation inside our product. It's like not a related flow builder, and as you can see in this scenario, what we want to do is subscribers, like say for them hello, and then collect some information from them, like email, phone number, and everything is okay. We just say thank you and goodbye. And why we decide to use AI here? Because so the automations looks pretty simple, but it's not so simple then they are working, because there are a lot of points of failure. Users, for example, can ask something unexpected from automation, and bots can confused, or user can skip the steps, and it also will provide that the flow will break. From other side of course, you can set up everything in this flow builder, but it could be complicated. And we try to replace all this logic with one node that we call AI step, and under the hood it's AI assistant for our users that can provide the whole conversation with a subscriber. It can start conversation, do whatever user wants, and after it finish the conversation. And a user just needs to define the goal, what he wants from the AI assistant. And here you can see that we want to collect some information from the subscriber, such as email and phone number. Of course, we can define some context for AI assistant, just in case if user will ask some questions, and AI will answer and still keep the conversation. And then you have to define the steps which AI assistant will follow one by one to achieve the main goal. So that was our idea and how we implemented. When we started, the OpenAI just released the new API that's called Assistant API, and on the paper it looks like that it will solve all our problems, because we don't need to store any state on our site. It will be stored everything about on the OpenAI side. It has built-in thread management, and we can persist conversation history inside the OpenAI. And how it works for us. So first of all, when we create and set up an AI step node, we under the hood create the assistant on the OpenAI side. And then when some of subscribers want to have a conversation with the AI step, we just run a new conversation with this assistant. And we will work a little bit close on it, how it works. So that's just a simple schema, how the Assistant API works for us. First of all, we need to create a thread. Then the trigger run. That's something that's model on the OpenAI side doing and generate the response. Then we fetch the ready message, then the run is completed, and just send it for subscriber. So we start from the assistant message, and then subscriber will answer for us. We just add this message to the history on OpenAI site, and then proceed this whole process, like trigger run, wait while it is sending, and then fetch the messages. So that's like a schema how it's implemented in our PHP product. As you can see, the all blue boxes is the call request calls to OpenAI. So it was work for us. We achieved some amazing results. But with all this process, we faced with some problems. Then we start using it. Of course, first of all, it was slow response generation, because we have to make a lot of requests to get only one message from the AI assistant. It's like about 5-10 requests to generate one message. Why 5-10? Because then run is started on OpenAI to generate the message. We using polling mechanism to understand then it ends and when we will be ready to get the new messages. And because of that API only specific for OpenAI, we can't switch to another provider of AI if something goes wrong with OpenAI. And as we see, it's a lot of calls, it's a lot of points of failure. And of course, we have some problem with AI. It's most common problems. Let's think ahead for 5 seconds. I drink some water. So the problem is that it's hard to work with model hallucinations. Of course, if we're talking about AI, that's sometimes it's produced not so good result as we expected. And in with schema, it's really hard to regenerate the message because it's already stored on OpenInsight, and we first of all need to remove it and then run another generation. It's can take a lot of time. So we working with it, I think, about in 1 month, and understand that we want to improve it somehow. And we ask ourselves, what if we stop relying on OpenAI and store all the conversation history on our side. And as the next step, we try to use the chat completions API because it's pretty simple, it's stateless, and the model generates response based on what we pass on this API. And it's really simple and flexible. It's easy to integrate into any stack with minimal setup. So what's changed for us? First of all, we started storing all conversation history on our side. And now we have a full control on the process. And we can easily migrate if it needs to different model providers. So instead of the schema of our communication was simplified in just this, and as we can see, we have only one call to OpenAI or different provider to generate the message. So here, if we want to switch between different providers, we have some problems with OpenAI, we can switch to Azure OpenAI, for example, as a provider to the same models, and we can do it during the one conversation because we store all state on our side. So just to compare how it looks, then we use it in Assistant API. It's the schema of communication was pretty hard, and now it's simplified. After that, we simplify the schema. We understand that we want to get a better result from the models, because before we just ask the model to answer to us in JSON, and it works, but not so good, because sometimes models was hallucination and return to us not that result that we expected. So we try in function calling. It's like a mechanism that you can provide some function into the model, then you call it, and it's structured the model output as we define the JSON schema and pass it, and just get what we need. So as we want to have a conversation with the subscriber, we just need the next message in this conversation. We need the conversation status, of course, is it ongoing or completed? And we need some information about our tasks, what we already collected from the subscriber, if we want, of course. From code perspective, it works pretty simple. We just build the answer from the model and use it in our processing part. So we want what's improved for us in these moments. First of all, of course, we got faster responses, because before we have to spend from 10-15 seconds to generate on one message, and then we switch to chat completions. It took only 1-2 seconds. Of course, we had a fewer requests to generate messages. Before it was 6-10, now it's only one request. We simplify our architecture, and as I said, we had easier fallback. We can scale our solution if we need. So let's a little bit wrap it up. So we started from a system API. It was great on the paper, but not so good when we started using it. But it's still, I think, great if you want to prototype your ideas, or you use like some simple use cases. If you don't want to manage the state on your site, if latency isn't critical for you, but opposite for it is chat completions looks better for us. Because with chat completions we have full control on this process. We can fall back on any providers, and we can improve our output from the models. So that's all from my side. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'd like to mention, for the best question, we have some prizes. So, yeah. The same? No, it's some different.
Yes.
Thank you for the talk. I want to ask, not maybe the differences between the cost between the two solutions, but how the operations behind it. So, how you optimized not only the technology, the engineering, but also cost, because of course, working with AI comes with.
Yeah, thank you. It's a good question. If you're talking about the cost, the main thing is the cost of the model that we used. During this journey, we changed some models, and this is really the cost. But if you talk about the cost, so to generate the message, the price will be the same. If you use Assistant API or you use the Chat Completions API, because under the hood, Assistant API do the same thing. It took the whole history and produced the next message, and that's what we're doing with Chat Completions API. But we pass all the history from our side. Yes. But yeah, I want to clarify here. If we work with different providers, we still using the same models, and the cost depends from what model do you use.
I'm guessing in the two situations you are looking for the same information, the email and the phone of the subscriber, of the customer. This maybe is not, it doesn't require only a single message. Maybe you need to go back and forth a few times until the customer actually give you the information that you want, right? Do you have like a way to say, stop, abandon this customer because it's been talking with the chat bot for a long time and it's not going to give us any information? And
you mean if subscriber don't want to share email, for example?
Yeah, maybe he start to ask about, I don't know, describe to me the origin of life or the meaning of life or something like that. And you start to send
yeah,
longer
of course,
history.
if it's most the question about how we prompt our assistant, and it's
how do you get out of it? How do you, like, you have an if condition to stop the loop between the human customer and the
it's
AI?
just we set up it in this way that it will not answer you outside the context that user provides to assistant.
Okay. Thank you.
You want to go first? No, you go first. Hi, thank you for your talk.
Thank you.
I have my question is, I guess you have many tools, and I think with AI things are moving really fast. At which moment will you consider structure your tools into an MCP? Or have you guys already done that? Or is not needed in this case? And if not needed, why? So it's many questions.
Thank you for the question. So since that moment, everything has changed. We continue our journey. Now we're using different tools as a structure output, as you mentioned. As I know, we didn't use any MCP servers. And that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Can I? Yeah. Thank you for the talk. My question is about, I just want to get a better understanding. If you are now managing the history on your site, does that mean that then you need to send the context on every new request to get a new response from the new API?
Yes, for this feature, it works in this way. Yeah.
And will that represent an issue depending on the volume of the conversation, on the size of the conversation at some point?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but we so now we don't face with these problems. Like if you have the big conversation in weekends, they perform the requests. Our conversation not so long, and we limited the context that user can provide to this feature.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? No, of course.
Good evening, my name is Alex. I have actually two questions.
Okay.
First of all, you mentioned that you were doing polling service, so you were waiting for the response of the OpenAI site. I'm not really familiar with OpenAI API, sorry, but all other providers that I saw also provides Stream API. So not only just polling and waiting for response, but opening a channel and waiting for the data from their site. Why did you choose polling over the streaming?
Yeah.
Or there is no option of streaming?
It's a good question. When we started using Assistant API, there is no streaming mechanism, only polling.
Okay.
So they added them a little bit later. Then we decided to switch from the Assistant API.
Well, that explains a lot. And actually, the second question, not very technical, but about have you ever tried to change personality of the model while answering to your customers? Because I had some experience, like, could you please make response like Feynman did, or could you please make response like Fowler did? And actually, it works like shit, to be honest. So I was thinking like maybe it will change this default very plain structure of the answers to maybe some more colorful, but it doesn't work. Have you ever tried such things?
Yes, for this feature that we created, the step, a user can set up this information context, and it will kind of work. So we not stopping with it. We're now developing next features, and in our next features there is the setup of tone of voice that AI will answer exactly as a user.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, thanks for the talk. I have two questions probably. One is, how do you deal with the hallucinations? And second one, how do you deal, or do you thought about the prompt injection from users and from your customers and others?
Thank you. That's also a good question about AI. So about hallucinations, we expect the answer in some structure, and if it's not suitable, we just try to make another request. And of course, we have a limit of these retries, and usually it helps us to get what we want. And of course, sometimes we got not so good result. That's the assistant don't follow to the context, for example. And we try to improve the quality of our solution. About prompt injections, the prompt is designed in that way that you can provide such injections.
Thank you, Artyom. It's time to it's time to select the best question.
I want to select Alex. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good question about polling. It was the
Alex is
pain
the
points.
collectioner of our gifts. That's a new one. Yeah, absolutely. It's time to switch laptops.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome Adrian to the stage. Guys, we have several places here. Please. so ready to rumble. Some hardcore stuff from Adrian is coming. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Un, dos, tres. Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. So, my name is Adrian, present. Today I will show you how fast can the monster go. And we refer the monster to Franken-PHP because it's the monster of Frankenstein. No? So we are talking about here more about this runner and the scalability on Kubernetes. Let me turn on this. And no, it's not working. No. So who I am? My name is Adrian Pasten. I am a software engineer in Appium Hub. I have more than 10 years of experience working with PHP, Symfony, Laravel, with Kubernetes Cloud. In most cases, working also as architect. I also organize these events. I am organizer of Barcelona PHP and also volunteer in Software Crafter. Maybe you know this community also. Also in DevOps platform enthusiast. One of my really big hobbies lately is compose music. So lately I discovered this Suno AI and I start making music together with Claude, making the lyrics and Suno make the music. And a really big warning of this is like I get obsessed for 3 weeks doing that and almost forget to do this presentation, really. And also one of my hobbies is I like to do DIY, like woodwork, AOT, home buildings, and stuff like that. So let's go with the challenge. What we have today to present is like what the real production ready, real to load. So we have, my stack will be Kubernetes, K6, and a real block application. No, nothing like hello world and try it, that's boring. So what we are testing here. So I have a K6 who will do all the testing. He will go to my Franken-PHP. I run in my Kubernetes cluster, and I'm using a database like Postgres for the whole day. So it's what we are doing here is HTML rendering plus doing some queries, and the goal to see is define how much limited I can query in my cluster. So what is Franken-PHP? So it's a Go-powered PHP runtime. Means to have to run it in worker mode, so there's no be locking or don't mounting a new thread every time you are doing a request. Here it's using Caddy for like proxy reverse for delivering more performance. It's modern and fast. HTTP 2 and 3 all supported. So let's everybody scan this QR code. I will try to do some polls. So I want to see you. Wait. Okay. So you're ready scan. Tell me when it's ready. So you will see a question is what you PHP serving setup? PHP VPN, Nginx, Apache, Franken-PHP, Otter, or I don't know, maybe you don't use PHP. I don't know, let's see the results. Let's see. From the moment it's winning PHP VPN with Nginx. Some people are using Franken-PHP, that's nice. And for sure there are a lot of people doing this already. Maybe some WordPress in the background. So, okay. So most part of the time we are using PHP VPN. That's nice. So it's really heavy user, everybody knows. So I will explain my architecture. This is not full screen. No. So I will explain the architecture, what I have. So this is my Kubernetes cluster. So in top of the application is an ingress. This is going to the service, which will calling all my pods of Franken-PHP in the cluster. And the Franken-PHP is going to Postgres. In this case, my Postgres is inside of my cluster. Many people say, what are you doing? Database in a Kubernetes cluster. Don't worry. Everything is going by CNPG. If you never check it, give it a try. If you're doing microservices, it's the best because your database will be so close to your service there will be less latency. And also I have a Redis cache because it's a blog and I have some widget. I have a widget where they showing the next meetups. So if you visit the website, you will also know when it will be in the next call. And I use in Redis because hitting meetup API have a rate limit and takes like 1.5 seconds in response. It's too slow. So put a Redis, forget it. Also have some metrics like a KEDA with an auto-scaling. Also for measuring all of this, I have Grafana, Loi, Prometheus, Loki, and Tempo. All the typical stack from Grafana. So let's go. So the production stack, I already explained. I deploy everything with Argo CD. So I'm using GitOps approach. I have auto-scaling, observability with OpenTelemetry and Prometheus, Ingress, the basic. So here you can see my GitOps. You can see how I deployed applications. This is going to my GitLab repository, checking out if there are changes there. If there is a change, bring it and deploy the new production system really fast. You don't need to worry, and it's plug and forget. Really nice. So let's go with the next question. If you have it there, next one. And also measure, if you go to QA poll, you can put questions there anytime you want. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Do you use auto-scaling? Oh yeah, okay. Let's see, more people. Okay, that was more expected. At the beginning was like, yeah, you are using HPA. Maybe many people using Kubernetes. No, okay, that is normal. Many people will put fixed VPS or fixed virtual machines and go and running. You don't worry, yeah, your company pay, no, you don't care. No. Okay, and it's funny, what is auto-scaling? Auto-scaling is when you're hitting some measures and you want to put more machines in horizontal. So you can handle more traffic by horizontally in the system. Let's quick. So auto-scaling intelligence. So in my case, I know you are using most part CPU. It's like, okay, when I have more than 60% from, I don't know, like more than 30 seconds, I want to put another machine because it's hitting my CPU. In my case, this is not real. In PHP, it's not real. You never will hit the CPU because we are handling really short process. They will never hit the CPU, but you will trouble the how much traffic you can handle. So in this game is coming my Caddy, my Prometheus, my KEDA, and auto-scaling. So Caddy have already metrics included for the exposed to Prometheus, who give you how many requests you have on flight, how many requests in total I have, and have 1,000 more of metrics you can use for whatever you want, for doing SRI teams or for know which one they are more attacking, making WAF. Really, there is amazing Caddy for this, and it's really fast. Also, and how it works. So, when you expose a metric endpoint, I have in my Kubernetes a service monitoring. This service monitoring is Prometheus who's listen and say, hey, every time I go out there, every 5 seconds, checking out the metrics and take it. So Prometheus have all these metrics. And what this does, KEDA, who is an auto-scaling system for actions, events, we call it, and you can do actions. The most famous is the scaled object. And this is what does is like when you have a metric and read this number for many seconds, you can create pods. In this case, I will scale up for 4 pods to 15. And not using CPU or memory because it's a lie. Doesn't work. So the magic is here. Here is my Prometheus query. So you can see here, so what I does is like total requests they are running in the job PHP Barcelona by the handler PHP. This case because Caddy is exposed many different handlers. I go directly to the one who does. What does is for 1 minute, give me the total increase it by the different amount of pot I have, and sum everything. And you will have officially how much you have in 1 minute. In my case, I used the threshold of 3,000, but I changed it this week to 900 because I said the 3,000 in the beginning was good, but from some problems, there was no good enough. So I reduced it for be more faster. And I am always have like 4, but in this moment also I changed it to 6. For some reasons, there's more about how much traffic I can handle in the beginning, and it's for this. Why is metric? Because if you're using HPI normal by CPU, it's too late. It's based on CPU memory. It's slow to respond. It's not traffic, how much traffic you have. Meanwhile, KDA you are more practical because I know how much traffic I handle it, and I can respond faster. I can be predictable of everything. Real metrics in general. So what we are measuring here, my throughput, latency, and scalability. Resources and memory, I couldn't install properly the profiling measure, so couldn't get the data. So here is a QA for the make question. If you want, scan is for make question. There is no, from the moment there is no, it's more about what metric most, low latency, high throughput, low resource, scalability. Let's answer that. Maybe you like one other, maybe you can ask the question what you like, what I prefer. So what do I have? I have a Franken PHP default settings. I have a doctrinal element that means Symfony. I have a 4, now 6. What I have is a block, do the database query, and I have K6 running for doing the test. The first run I did in my local, I get 600 with PHP VPN. I have a really powerful machine, so I can get that numbers. But it was kind of low, 50, 75 milliseconds in local. It's kind of bad. It's not bad, but I mean, this is the normal in with CPUs. In my previous job, we are using PHP VPN. I think we get less. Because it was Laravel, and Laravel's bootstrap is slow. So what I hear, so I switched to PHP, Franken PHP in normal mode. That means like PHP VPN runs the same, a little bit faster because it's in Go. But the average was like, yeah, let's go with the worker. Everybody say, yeah, there is where is the real magic is. I get that 1,000. Still really good, but not impressive. I was thinking to win more. But something I missed here. Something, I think there can be more. People talk about more. So, because like you said, my resources was nothing. Nothing, really. Because it's not really good measure. So, let's investigate how I use it with OpenTelemetry. I want to see what's happening in my application because OpenTelemetry gives you so many tools. It's good. So, but first, good question. Do you use OpenTelemetry? Scan the QR code and respond. No, I don't have idea what is that. So many people don't use it. You should use it. If you say no, but because OpenTelemetry is the standardized system for send metrics, logs, and traces. Also includes to like auto instrumentation. You without almost with zero code, you can do everything. And totally, when I say zero code, it's almost zero code. It's just configuration most part. And use it. It's because it's better than use Datadog and be locked there in Datadog because tomorrow will increase triple and you will suffer. I suffer now the Datadog in my company, so we are switching to OpenTelemetry, but with Datadog. So let's go next one. So I discovered here where is my pain point. Was most part of the time I have this 11 milliseconds. Here it's the bootstrapping of the application. I didn't care because second round this was reduced, but we keep it 11. That 11 milliseconds is the connection to the database. Just to connect to the database. No execute the query. Nothing, because the query was here 3.5 milliseconds. Almost nothing. And here is the problem. So, and I'm running in worker mode. So I thought, okay, let's do it persistent connections. I have a worker mode. They're dying in every 30 minutes for reduced amount of memory you can use for don't have memory leak. That is the problem with worker. So if you have questions, go to Paul in the QA and put your questions. So what I did, I tried to reduce, so I reduced the connection to database. So I put PDO in reduce it. And what I get, 4 milliseconds. Really, 4 milliseconds for response for a block. So my journey so far was like 600, 8,000, 1,000, and I put 4 milliseconds in the request. But something was weird here when I tried to put cases to test this heavily. From the same code, from the same infra, the number was mismatched. What this thing was? My OpenTelemetry was hit me. The one who gave me the response give me the pain. I lose 43% of performance only for use OpenTelemetry. Why? That is coming because OpenTelemetry with auto-instrumentation is the devil, is always sending the traces, always, on all the time. If you don't configure properly the processor, batch processor in this case, if you want to reduce the amount of memory, will hit it because the batch processor is sending on all the time the traces. I want to try in the future. I didn't have time for tuning this, for sending any 5 seconds, 5 minutes, maybe. I don't need to go real time. And maybe we can be close to more to numbers because, yeah, I get 2,519 requests per second. That is a lot for what I had in the cluster. The cluster was really tiny, and I get a lot of performance for the tiny performance. And I say, I turn off totally. I didn't care. But you can put also like, hey, only send me the 5% if you want to trace it, or maybe you want to do manual. That is also good. As you can say, the numbers don't lie. OpenTelemetry was eating me, the performance. But increase, but I reduce it, so now the observability is your pain point, but you should keep it because it gives you the response when you are not seeing. It's like the electrons. Until you don't see it, you don't know where they go to spin. So, kind of joke, people physics will get it, but I don't know. So, final configuration, my working mode on, persisting, disable the OpenTelemetry, auto-scaling. And I get 4.2 improvement versus PHP VPN. That is a lot. And it was really good. When I saw this number, it was like, wow. Impressed. I have 15 pods only, not too much. I could increase more, but I will explain later. So, demo time. Let's say you want to see the numbers real. I want to hit my server. Yes or not? Yeah, thank you. So, scan the QR code because we want to do it interactive. This is the block. It's phpbarcelona.ts. The idea here is I will turn on the test. It runs for 3 minutes. And I want to experience to visit, go to around the block, and try to navigate. Meanwhile, I am suffering my server. So what you will see here, you will have my the terminal running the K6, the Prometheus metrics, pod auto-scaling, Argo CD, you will see how it's synchronizing everything. So let's go there. So, yeah, already see some people already logging, you see? Okay. cannot see nothing really. I will do like this one. Yeah, that one. Yeah. So here it's everything running. Here's this. Well, why didn't copy now? That is the problem of running a demo in real time. Really, what is my problem today? Why he don't want to copy? Let's go to pegar mejor. No, doesn't want to paste. So Cas6 run. I will do it by hand. Sorry, sorry. You can make jokes around. Oh no. So this is host. The problem is I don't have the host key neither. I hate that shit. This one, yeah. Yeah, this one. So let's run it. So what you are seeing here now, it's like here it's my bot. You see I have 6. Here is running. Right now we are arriving to this running. Here you can see how much traffic I handle it right now. Go, it's spiking up. And you see here is my Argo CD in live. And you will see if it's everything correct, more pods will start running. So I can answer some questions. Let's see what questions you have already. What are main limitations of pitfall developers should be aware before migrating an existing project to Franken PHP? First, which one, you? So the first thing is about the framework. If you are not using no framework like Symfony or Laravel, maybe there is no runner. There is a special configuration. For Symfony it's super easy because it's just install a package and everything runs. But for Laravel is a little bit, you need to tweak a little bit. For the reason I recommend, if you want to choose a framework, go with Symfony always. That is the only answer, correctly answer. Huh? Yeah, I never tried, but it should work pretty the same way. But the problem with the biggest problem of Laravel, it's the bootstrap. Because it doesn't have lazy loading, you need to bootstrap the entire application before to start. Meanwhile, Symfony, you will hit only the services, the auto wiring, when you will load it. Because what you receive in the service is a proxy. In the moment you are using any method inside of that proxy, they will build the application. So it's kind of faster. And because it's pre-built before, they give you more advantage. That is the biggest problem of Laravel. Doesn't have this. What are the main, okay. Do you use Caddy only as an application server? Although utilize features like server push, it's behind an Nginx. Yeah, this is behind an Nginx because Ingress is an Nginx. I need to switch out because it's deprecated. Nginx now in Kubernetes. Maybe I will go to, I don't know, traffic, I think. But yeah, it's good to, was you? Yeah, for the reason it's behind Nginx, but because most part of this feature is in the metrics, and Nginx what does is only picking up my traffic. I hope so one day there will be a Caddy like a Ingress, you know. I hope so one day. Because that is the problem in my case. But if for me, just Caddy. If you can put certificates and everything, and if you don't use for, any of this tool, you will see it's almost finished. Yeah? Let's see how much I get. 2,000 maybe, and you can see we have 16 pods alive. Well, how much we hit? 1,933. Not bad, but it's depend of the moment. But you try to visit the website. What's working, no? And everything, and if you want to know, this is in bare metal. Everything here is in bare metal. It's nothing in cloud. So, yeah, I think, for example, the maximum was 2.4 seconds. So what's really good. And also P95 was 9.74, so what's not really bad metrics in general. If we run again, we will get more data. I have time for running again? So now, because everything is warm up, I have the 16 pods running, this will be fly. And you can still, why? Because right now I have the 16, so I don't need to scale up. But you see, I scale like based on traffic, because here is the traffic spike. This is how it works. When I trigger the 900, they goes. I say, hey, we need more pods, we have traffic. If, for example, if you have unlimited CPUs, you can scale whatever you want. The sky is the limit. Because you can be predictable also with this, with BPA. Because if you know, hey, there is too much traffic, it's tomorrow, Black Friday, and many traffic will come. And you say, I am prepared. I have my machine already ready. I put it in the node, switch off the minimum to the maximum 16, put 300 if you have the CPUs for tomorrow. On Thursday, in Tuesday, when Cyber Monday is finished, you just scale down manually. Or if something is a spike because you didn't expect it, when you're hitting here or here, you say, maybe my CPUs will be gone in, in 5 minutes. Just add another machine, prepare with a snapshot, running and join to the node. That is the benefits of Kubernetes. You can do this stuff with Keda or Carpenter or wherever you want. So how we are going here? We are in 1 minute 30. Let's go with more questions, no? Have you considered using a static generated pure HTML, CSS, J? Why not? For answer this question, yes. But the idea of this project, PHP Barcelona, is generate a static generated block with PHP. I didn't finish it, but the idea is I have a back office, I write there, and in the moment I press, should generate the static generation and serve it by Caddy. And thus it will be 10,000 faster, but we are not talking about PHP there, if not Caddy, who is giving to all the strengths and all the power. Pretty impressive. I will be nice to see the slide in the screen, place it at the top. Yeah, come here. There's space here. I want to make a case in my company to push for faster loading and responsive, but management doesn't care. How do you justify dev time on this work? Can someone don't turn off the presenter, please? Where is the... Yeah, because I produce, but I don't produce the energy. No, it's not my computer, it's the projector. So almost finished. Yeah, we have 15 seconds to finish. Okay, for the question here, it's like, first of all, you need to, for working properly, I will skip up of PHP and talk about this, but I like this kind of question. What you do, it's like in refinement, you sit down everybody on your squad and talk what is the necessities. And talk also with UX UI department to explain and make some interviews with the customers and the users to see what is they have more valuable. Most part of the user don't care. So if they don't care, don't try to push it. But if they care, they say, hey, it's too slow. You need to push it to be prioritized, because maybe it's a short time. You know how I did? Yeah, but it's... No, it's turn off the projector. Okay, and so finish. And we get 2,288 this time. Not bad. I suppose the why happened this is because he goes to the different worker and network latency. Because if I run in the same machine, there is the database, will go faster. Because most part of the problem is the networking, because if I am in the network one, I need to jump to the other one who have the service and go to the other. Because this don't go to the ingress because I want to test it, and you are the one who test the ingress. Because my ingress engines is crap, it's a cheat. When I test it, I only get 400. And because I have network problems. Handshake first. One of the biggest problems is the handshake is eating 40 milliseconds. Only the handshake for giving HTTPS and stuff like that. But let me finish with this. So I think it's how you define the time. It's depend of the necessity of the company. For the reason, you need to be part of the product. Don't be afraid to be a part of the product. Don't go say, oh no, the PM or PO say me, you need to do this job. No, you need to go to PO and say, why we need to do this job? What we are solving? What is the problem of the architecture? Where are the trade-off? Because architecture is about trade-off, always. WordPress in Franken, I never tried. Maybe it works. I think there is one, eh? Huh? Yeah, for sure. I think it exists. Does the auto-scaling goes directly from 6 to 16? You saw it because I was talking. So go directly? Because most part of the time, when I recorded this for, in any case, was not working. He goes from 6 to 8, from there to 12, and from 12 to 16. But it depends too much about the traffic and how you're measuring the traffic. But it should be, obviously, it's why, because we are over the 900. For the reason I put 3,000 in the beginning, because I can expect this, but last week I had problems. My node died, so that was the problem, and I didn't saw it. But for the reason I put 3,000, because they will scale up more faster, but we don't get really high numbers. We see lower numbers, but will be really manageable in a real situation. This is a just testing situation for loading. Pressing. Okay. It's more a thought or observation. As you are improving metrics, runtime, etc. The setup look optimized because you are using too many tools. Doesn't affect you? I know. It's your name. The problem number one is the metric. Here, without this, I cannot do it. I just for having this number, I just need to put a fixed machine, and I can do it. If I put 16 cores, 32 threads, I will get the triple of that number. Really. I tested with this computer. This is AMD Ryzen 8845HS, 8 cores, 16 threads, up until 5.1 gigahertz, and he gave me 3,800 requests per second. I think a little bit less. SRE team. You need to work together with SRE team. But you are responsible of this metric anyway. You are responsible. You are who creates these metrics together with the SRE team. SRE team is aware about when we are hitting this limit, because they will use this metric also, or maybe they will use another one much better. We don't know, but we get with these really impressive numbers for this time. Let's go back to the presentation. Click here. Next one. So here is how we did it. In general, my test was 2,519. So it was pretty better than this one. So my local was say before I get 3,778 with this computer. connected to the power. It's really powerful machine. And the pipe, I run a pipeline in CI/CD inside of my cluster, and I get 2,378 in worker mode from SSH. So I join to one of my nodes inside of my cluster, and I run K6 but fix. So 30 seconds, 1,000 virtual users. I get 2,519. In the inside of cluster, what we also I didn't explain, the view, the virtual users, what's go incremental for 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000, and from there going down. So I was really low testing, and what's pretty smooth. That is the advantage of this. But while I was working with the computer for developing this is a funny one thing. I was running this. I get this number, no, 3,700. I run in a second one, and I get 3,200. Say, that is weird. I restart the computer, whatever. Maybe it was something stupid or whatever, and I get 3,700. I say, I don't get it, and I did it again, and was the same. The culprit was fucking Spotify. So don't listen MetaMin while you are benchmarking. It was using the CPU, so because they don't have CPU able, was reducing the numbers. Yeah, for the reason I move up to test it in my cluster, because and for the reason it's inside of the cluster. Obviously, maybe they get a little bit of performance, but we don't care because 20% already eats by Prometheus. And that is another problem. Prometheus eats a lot of RAM and a lot of memory of CPU. But it's a trade-off, always is a trade-off in architecture. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need to find this point, and usually it's a trade-off. You need to understand this. My job every day is choose trade-off. For the reason I am architecture pattern most part of the time, because I do this. Mm-hmm. That was the one of the trade-off. So what we learned here, working mode is not a magic. I turned it off one time and they didn't get the impressive numbers. All telemetric is the overhead is real. So take care if you're using, and use it, please. Don't turn it off because my metric was bad. Use it because they give you inside values. Is that the trade-off? Measure everything, use SCADA with custom metrics. If you don't use SCADA, just use Carpenter or any other tools, please. And stop using normal standard, because except you're using, I don't know, C# or Java, when they're hitting the CPU, maybe yes, it's good. But for modern PHP, no. So it's fast, but you need to configure it. That is the auto trade-off, is configuration most part. When you said what? So Franken, for modern, don't try to go with legacy. High traffic sites, this is really good one. You have e-commerce or whatever, it's good to point. You use Kubernetes or you're using APIs and microservices, is good. And also it's included in CAD HTTP3, so it's also good because it's a bilateral multi-connection, multi-thread, or whatever. It's really nice. But if no, don't consider if you are already use Apache modules, or you already tuning the PHP VPN, because my PHP VPN was not tuning enough, was not in the maximum of the peak. I think I can get more, but I don't want to spend time when I want to talk about Franken PHP. Or you have really very specific requirements. So that is the numbers, 2,378. We multiply by 4 the performance of PHP VPN. We have 452K of requests and 100% of success. That is I think this is the most valuable metric. I didn't get a time out and in a stress scenario. That is really impressive. What I did to set up is GitLab CI/CD. So I am a fan of GitLab. And I have the runner inside my cluster. I have the stack as Franken, Postgres, SCADA, Argo CD, and Caddy. The cluster is 10 cores, 20 threads, divided in 2 machines. It's one is 4 cores and the other is 6. They are AMD Ryzen 200 500G and 5600G. Yeah, it's real server, real computer. There's nothing fancy. You can mount it at home. And everything is managed by a BPS outside. And it's only 2 cores, 4 gig, but this is only the master. Nothing involves that one. And for the reason I put limit to 15 or 16, because I save 20% to Prometheus and all the observability tools. Because you see, I was using also Grafana. So if you have questions, I think most part of the question. I don't know if we have Livermore. Let's see it. Enable longevity concerns with mantra choosing boring technology. No? Maintainable longevity, let's read it here. I didn't answer that one, no? Yeah, I will. Yeah. The thing is here is more. I mean, PHP, how I see it, for the reason I like it a lot, is because you don't need to do too much, because you can start with the normal mode, see if it works better than PHP VPM, and if it's work, you can switch up to that one. And the moment you need more power, PHP is already supported by the community of PHP Foundation, officially. They announced it like 2 months ago, so it's officially a runner. Not like Swallow or Run Runners. They still, compared with that ones, here you don't need to do almost nothing in the code. Because it's you install the package of PHP for Symfony, you set up in the wrapping app. I mean, it's really stupid, it's in the environment variables, and you see where it goes. Because you don't need to say, you put environment variable to say, no, this will run with PHP, and automatically the bootstrapping of Symfony will get the bootstrap to PHP because you install the dependency. It's pretty nice for the reason. The idea for me is try to push off to have this technology. For the reason it's choosing a boring technology. It's not. This is not boring. It's saving your time and reduce cost. Exactly. I mean, I tried native PHP. There was one guy who creates this Laravel thinking for running native application. This in Reddit was kind of nice and impressive, and also can run with Symfony now. It's really impressive. The people that were doing weird things. Have you faced issue with memory leaks? No, because I read the manual. People, read the manuals. What did he say? Just kill your workers every 30 minutes. That's all. No, because there will be another, because you have many pods. Yeah, the problem with run is that one. In this case, I didn't see any memory leak, because how I said, automatically they kill by themselves. It's automatically, and because they're used, for example, if you have 4 threads, he will put 8 workers automatically. And so kill one didn't affect you because you still have another warm up and you can continue. That is one of the advantage. And that is what they recommend. See, they will start using and they will kill it. And because also I have memory, don't forget about put also HPA with memory and CPU. Don't only level it in that. Obviously you need the other because maybe you don't have traffic, but you have an intense CPU usage of something in the background and you need to scale up from there. Yes, obviously that is implied. Now the thing is, for the reason my recommendation is go I put the resources in really limit. I put minimum 500 CPU and 1000 CPU in term limit. 520 megabytes and 1 gigabyte of memory in the maximum. Why? Because I prefer, that is another trade-off. I prefer to have a small pot and put more than have big pot and have less. And because it's more manageable, because if one is killed, most part of another advantage of PHP for killing workers, he do it gently. So he will say this worker doesn't receive more traffic, but he will stop when finish all the traffic is handling. So it is a good benefit of Franken PHP. And that is because it's running in Go most part of the time. What else we have here? Well, the minimum, no, we already answered. The use Kadi. Have you considered WordPress? WordPress does this. Okay, test. No problem with the persistent DB connections? Nope. I didn't have for the same reason. They was killing after 30 minutes. For the reason you reuse it. And if you have problems with the DB connection, just reduce the amount of time you're using. Most part is coming from data leak, from memory leak, and reuse the connection. If you have problems with the connection, maybe you have a slow query. Maybe use OpenTelemetry to see that. This is a good tool for that, because if you want to see the slow query, you will get it.
If you use OpenTelemetry, you will have memory leaks of OpenTelemetry.
Exactly, also. Yeah, this is the problem. We have, I think I answered all these questions. Any in the public one, another question? No? I don't know. The problem is like I know that rule for the reason I put this, because I want to give it the most voted.
Yeah, you can check the polls.
But I don't know. We can choose. I don't know. The first one, no, maintainability longevity. Or
The first one is important.
Who's one?
And just be
Yeah.
okay. The creator of this is Kevin Lopez. He's a core contributor of Symfony.
yep.
But it's going to be there forever. So
Choosing boring technologies.
this is going to become boring.
This will be bored. Yeah.
This will be there forever.
It's gonna be boring eventually.
It's not like in Node.js. There is a running every day. That is the problem. And right now I'm working in my job with my customers with Node.js, and it's boring because I prefer PHP. Really, it's better.
I mean, the concern with all the Node JavaScript stuff in the backend, I just don't like the way it has been handled. Like dependency hell, too many packages, too many runners. It's too much. And PHP, you can always be sure that it's gonna work. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why maybe averse to too much change, like things like Franken PHP or Swool and all that. It's like I like to stay.
Yeah, but for the reason Franken PHP have the normal mode and will live forever, and you have Kali. That is really a good advantage.
So yeah, programming language debates are coming. So maybe it's time to move to go to NDP.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adrian.
Don't forget to scan the QR from our blog.
Really
And
loved it. Yeah.
follow my Instagram, Twitter, and keep pushing PHP forward, please. And you can follow me everywhere here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Could you show my slides?
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
okay.
there?
Yeah, a couple of them. Next one. Yeah, we need 5 minutes for your feedback. I actually loved both presentations. The second one was like pretty interactive and cool combination of lecture format with like live coding, testing, interactive questions. By the way, there is the form. 5 minutes of your time. You can do it now. You can do it later. Save the link. Please rate the talks. It will help our speakers to be even better, and for us as an organizers to host better meetups, to be like more welcome with you, if it's possible. And thank you. Yeah, join the PHP Talks. See you. I believe February. Next time, if you have any proposals for the talks, if you want to share something, we have the special form in this feedback form. You can leave your thoughts there, and also we have WhatsApp community for the announcement. We are not so active there. Please also be active there if you want. But for announcement, it's mostly like our source for announcement of the forthcoming meetups. And we have almost 1 hour or even like more for pizza, beer, and continue your conversations there. Always welcome at ManyChat.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.